All right, so I brought you guys out to do a little harvesting with me. As can be expected, things are a little crazy right now. Everything is overgrowing. I have been super busy in the kitchen recently. I was able to get a ton of fruit at an amazing price. And so I have been for days in the kitchen making different jams. I'm sure you guys have seen the posts. I know it's a lot of different types of jams, but when you get a really good price on something like that, you just get a bunch of it, but you need to process it pretty quickly. So this is actually one of my kids' new favorites for cherry tomatoes. It's the Berry's Crazy Cherry. And as soon as they started tasting them, they are the favorite. So this has a bunch that need to be harvested. And with tomatoes, if you leave things too long, they will start to think that they have done their job. They don't need to produce any more fruit. And that is not what we want. My kids eat a tremendous amount of cherry tomatoes. And as I said, this is a new favorite. So I've got a bunch of different stuff actually around here that needs to be harvested. Let's see. And a bunch of stuff that needs to be completed. So I need to go through and tie up some of these tomatoes. I'm trying out the Florida weave on some of them, and I just haven't been out to kind of finish tying them back up. A couple of them have some leaves that need to be removed. Some of them are just, they're not looking so great. They're looking a little bit diseased. So I need to come out and spend some time removing those. Let's see. Got this plant here, also has some stuff. And again, it needs to be tied up. And I definitely know that. I also need to come out and weed, which I'll probably have the kids come out and help me with. Because, that is their fee for all the tomatoes that I grow and all the other yummy fruits and veggies. So they can come and help me. We struggle with Bermuda grass. So if anyone knows, Bermuda grass will just keep trying to pop up. They spread by rhizomes. And so I'm constantly having to come out and pull it out and trying to reduce the competition with some of my plants. We have a ton of different types of tomatoes, but again, a lot of them are cherry because that is what my kids prefer. This one, I think, is a lemon drop. And honestly, for as many tomato plants as I grow, I don't eat tomatoes. Don't get me wrong, I will use them in recipes, but I don't eat them fresh. And I know a lot of gardeners that grow tomatoes are so excited about the fresh tomatoes. That's not my thing. That would be the kids. But I grow it for them. It is great. They can just come out and snack. You may see some of my plants look a little bit lanky. And again, these are more that need to be tied up. Unfortunately, there is not the best sunlight here in this garden. So they do produce. We do get lots of stuff. But it's not as much as someone might get from a garden that had a lot more sun. Let's see. And then I do also tend to harvest when things start to ripen instead of waiting for them to fully ripen, to try to keep animals from trying to get a hold of the fruit. Mainly my dogs, because they seem to think that the fruit is for them. A couple of years ago, they ate every single tomato that I was trying to let ripen on the vine right before I was ready to harvest it. So I don't try to leave them. These are super sweet 100s, which last year was the first year that we grew them, and they became a favorite as well. So I try to kind of catalog what do the kids really like. Like, we definitely try new stuff all the time, but if it becomes something that the kids are constantly out here picking, that's kind of one of the indicators to keep growing it. So I'm just mainly trying to get a bunch of the tomatoes. I haven't been out here in a couple of days, and the kids have had a bunch of different stuff going on, so they haven't really been out here picking either. But we're gonna get some of this together. And the way my beds are set up, and I'm trying to get as much grow space. What I did not realize with some of these marigolds that I planted are huge, and then other varieties are more compact. So I think next time I'm going to try to go with more of the compact ones, because some of these bushes are getting humongous and they're blocking me from reaching tomatoes too. So it's getting a little crazy. But again, you know, my whole goal this year was to grow a lot more flowers in the garden, so I guess I did that. And we've got more of the cucamelons. Got a bunch on this one. And you can see the cucamelons will reach out and grab onto flowers and other things. You make sure, sometimes I'll find that there's cucamelons growing down closer to the base that I didn't see before. We do pick a lot of this stuff. And I don't know if everybody else struggles with it, but I swear I always have so many spiders in my garden, which I guess in a way is a good thing, but not my favorite. Oh, we've got one little baby cayenne pepper that is, this is the first time I'm growing cayenne peppers. We don't eat them, but I decided there was a creator, Asia, over at Yellow Door Urban Homestead. She's saying she gives her chickens cayenne peppers to help, has like a preventative for like worms and things, I think. So I thought, you know what, I'll just try to grow some and see what happens. Let's see. I do have one okra pod on this one that needs to come off, but I'll have to go inside and get scissors for that. So the okra, like, you want to make sure that you are harvesting it frequently, because otherwise it can get woody. Right now it's still nice and soft, so I'll probably harvest that after I go get something to cut it with. Then I need to start tying up tomatoes and weeding the garden, so maybe I'll bring you guys along for some of that as well if that's something you're interested in. But we've got our little harvest for the day, and thank you for joining me. And like, comment, share, subscribe if you find this kind of stuff interesting, and I'll see you next time.